We've talked a few times about how, in Japan at least, Nintendo considered Epoch to be their biggest rival, but it wasn't just the Cassette Vision that inspired the House of Mario. And here we are. This is the Epoch Game Pocket Computer. We briefly touched on this in our Epoch video quite a few, possibly years ago now, but a long time ago anyway. I'll just quickly take it out of this box. Box is a little bit smashed up, but it's basically okay. Yeah, those batteries. Let's not forget those batteries. We do need those. So there we go. Yeah, the Epoch Game Pocket Computer. This was released in 1984. That's 5 years before the original Game Boy. It uses cartridges. This is not a cartridge here. This is just a blanking cartridge. Just to, well, it's got little instructions on it, which shows you how the instructional things work, which I'll go over a bit later, and also to keep the cartridge port clear. You don't have to have this in to play with the inbuilt machine stuff, which we'll get into in a minute. Yeah, like I say, it makes it look neater and keeps it clean. So it's a good idea just to keep it. Yeah, and the cartridges, it turns out, are rarer than the machine. And what that meant is I had to go off and buy a second machine because it came with a couple of cartridges. So yes, this one's in pretty good condition. The directional pad needs a bit of work, but it's mostly fine. This one, you can possibly just about see, had some battery leakage, but it is, after some cleaning, now working as well, which is good. So yeah, so if we stick some batteries, we'll put batteries in the one that had the leakage, just because its controller does work better. Oh, hold on. I'll cut to this being done. Right, there we go. We have batteries in it. I don't know how well this is going to record, but I guess we'll find out. So if we turn it on, I think you could just about see that. We get a nice little ditty, which you can turn off with this switch if you want to. Now if we start, no, we'll select, there you go. We do have these two games. So we have this, which is one of these slidey puzzle games, which, yeah, I've never been particularly fond of, to be honest. And then you hit select again, we get this, which is kind of like a drawing thing. So you possibly see just about, if we get closer. Oh, I cannot tell if you can see this or not. We'll work it out. And then you can kind of push a button, one of these buttons. There you go. Will let you draw. So kind of basically an etch sketch. Okay, so yeah, they're not the greatest games ever, but they are built in. Unlike, you know, a lot of the handhelds that came out, there are things built in. It's powered by an NEC PD78C06 at 6 megahertz. It's a kind of neat little microprocessor package that leans on NEC's kind of previous work cloning the Z80 chip, but embedding a lot of the support hardware that would normally have been extra silicon inside the package. So quite a neat little compound silicon. It's got 2K of memory, a monochrome screen with a resolution of 75 by 64, and single channel sound. So somewhat beneath the Game Boy, which came out 5 years later, but you know, that's 5 years. That's a long time, especially in these days with technological progress. The internet seems to suggest that it has like 70 hours of battery life with the 4 AA's that it actually uses. I've not experienced that. I found it to be closer to 40 hours, but I guess it could be a factor of the type of batteries and what you're running on it, I suppose. But 40 hours still isn't something to be sniffed at. Now, obviously, this wasn't the first handheld gaming device. We've dealt with a couple of others. Milton Bradley's Microvision came out about 5 years before this again. It was fairly simple compared to this. And 5 years later, obviously, yeah, Nintendo released the Game Boy, which was certainly advanced on the GPC, but not nearly the same leap as the GPC over the Microvision. And again, if we're talking handheld systems for this era, then we can't fail to mention the NTEC Selector game, which we have covered in a previous video, and its successor, which came out a year later in 1982, the Adventure Vision, which I've never owned, and I really would like to, but they are very, very rare. Both of these were in many ways less advanced than even the Microvision, although both are very cool. Watch the video on the Selector game. It is a very cool device. It probably goes without saying the GPC wasn't a huge success, with only 5 games ever being officially released, but this would indirectly lead to the Barcode Battler, which was much more successful. Anyway, let's see if we can get these games displaying in any kind of fashion that helps or makes it useful for anyone. Right, so we take out the blanking cartridge, and if we put in the first one, which is Mahjong, and the really cool thing, try not to get too much glare on this, is it's got this little clear window here, and the cartridges have their instructions in this little window. Now, I can't really understand what any of that is, but it definitely tells you. So if we turn this on, it should take a few seconds, if it works, which it might need some contact cleaner. Let's give that a try. Oh, there we go. We have Mahjong, right? Now, I've got no idea how to play proper Mahjong. I play solitaire, and that's lots of fun, obviously, but I don't know what I'm doing with full Mahjong. It's a complex game, and but yeah, so you can see very simple graphics and incredibly simple sound effects. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, yeah, I've got no idea what I'm doing, so... Oh, I did something. I managed to do something. But anyway, yes, that's Mahjong. Again, very, very simple. And if we want something even simpler than that, we have Reversi, which, well, you don't get much simpler than Reversi, however you want to say it. If you've never played it, it's the game just about turning one colour of dot to another colour. So if I hit start, I'm trying to get the glare, so that's more obvious. So yeah, there's my cursor. So I think I'm black. So if I push there, no, I guess I'm white. Okay. No. Oh, no, there you go. I did something completely wrong. There you go. Yeah, it's it's a pretty simple game. With very simple graphics, but they're very clear and they're very, useful. Let's turn the sound off and we'll let that run for a little bit while we do some more talking about this machine. So anyway, yes, so you can see it's got like an 8-way joypad, so it's actually 8-way. We'll go multiple directions. 4 action buttons and a select and start, and obviously, yeah, the switch, the power switch, and the sound on/off switch as well. And it's quite a cool machine. So yeah, 5 games were officially released. The Astro Bomber, which is kind of a scramble style clone. Block Maze, which is a maze game. Mahjong, Reversi, and Soccer Man. So not the most exciting of games, not very many of them, but I still think this is a wonderful little device. And I sold my original one because I was financing a film, as many of you who follow me probably know. But I'm really glad to own one again because they are just lovely little devices, and I own 2. One of which I imagine I'll sell on at some point. But yeah, that's it. That's the Epoch Game Pocket Computer. I keep getting those transposed because it flows better if Pocket Game Computer, but yes, Game Pocket Computer. And it's a wonderful device. It's very rare, very hard to get hold of. Is it worth getting? I mean, if you're honest, no. It's 5 games and none of them particularly exciting. If you're a collector, yeah, I mean, it's really cool. And it came out before the Game Boy, and it wasn't that far behind the Game Boy in terms of power. Which isn't bad for a machine that came out 5 years before. But yeah, Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit like. If you really like the video, please hit subscribe. If you didn't like the video, you have something else to say, then please leave it in the comments below. And you can help us out by either joining our Patreon, which would really help us out, becoming a member of the channel, or buy merch in the store that's probably down there somewhere. Yeah, see you next time.
The present is horrible, the future looks bleak. Remember our childhood to get us through the